Hey guys, Paul here, and this is another video update for Void Destroyer 2. So before I get into the sort of big stuff, the kind of boring stuff, I guess, in case there's like new people to the project, I'll show like a little more of the fancier stuff, I guess, space combat. So I'll go through two little things that I forgot to mention in the last update. So in one of the updates, I talked about capturing ships, how that's done, and how there's a capture resistance rating on ships, and you got to get through that to capture the ship. And I talked about how some of the bigger ships have really high capture resistance ratings, and I don't want the player to have a bajillion capture ships to capture a big ship. And I was going to do something about it, and then I actually did. So now there is an upgrade called Crew Killer Ammo. And what this does is it reduces the ship weapon damage, but it makes it allows you to kill the crew of a ship, which decreases the capture resistance rating. So let's go ahead and undock. Here we are in space. Switch to tactical. Let's see what we have here. So here we have an Apollo with a capture resistance rating of 10. That's very low, but for our demo, that's kind of good enough. What I'm going to do, I'm going to start shooting this Apollo up, and hopefully it won't kill me, although it is a bigger ship than me, and we'll see if we can reduce this capture resistance rating. Yeah, looks like he might have some escorts, so this might not be a really great idea. It actually changes the bullet visual as well, if you can tell, if you remember. It's this little blue thingy instead of the usual golden. He's gonna get mad at me in just a second. Start shooting back, but hopefully I'll survive long enough to show the decrease of the crew. Let's see what we got. Okay, so now capture resistance is 5. So went from 10 to 5. Again, this is a small ship, so it's not a huge deal. But in larger ships where capture resistance is like 200, you would need quite a lot of capture ships, and it just becomes a huge mess. So using this Crew Killer ammo, you can sacrifice damage for actually reducing the capture resistance. Oh, is he shooting at me? Are those missiles? Yeah, those are missiles. They're coming right at me. I guess it wouldn't be fun if I didn't die, right? So let's just let's die a horrible death. There we go. Bit of excitement to the update, right? So in another update, I talked about the primary burn and secondary burn. These mechanics let you increase travel speed in overworld mode. And I talked about that I was probably going to do something about it to further improve it, and I did, because I added refueling platforms. I talked about how I was going to do something else about it as well, and I did. So let's buy a big ship. Let's buy a frigate, really cool beam frigate, and let's undock. Here we are. Let's go to overworld mode. Our big giant frigate. Very slow ship, very big ship, but slow ship. Kind of as a balancing act. Even getting to overworld mode takes a good chunk of time. All right, here we are in overworld mode. So we have the ship is slow. So as you can see, it travels, very slowly as a sort of balancing mechanic. But we have this primary burn here and this secondary burn to speed us up. In addition, large ships get more fuel capacity, far more than smaller ships. But also, in addition, time compression will now, in these large ships, have this multiplier of 2.5. So it's already traveling 2.5 times faster than normal. Actually, time is moving faster, not so much the ship. Time is. And if I do secondary burn, this large ship is moving at a fairly okay rate, for the player. Before, this would take far longer, 2.5 times longer. So if this takes 30 seconds to get from point A to point B, it might have taken a minute, and if it was two minutes, then 4 minutes, it kind of gets kind of big pretty fast. So this is on our way to kind of like decreasing the travel times in big ships, making them not so much annoying, and I'll probably put some other mechanics to do this as well, so that if you do have a main ship that's a big giant ship, that you'll be okay with it. Let's see, we have some big ships here. Let's have another horrible death. Let's attack them. Even attacking them is going to take us a while because just getting there is going to take a while. I should have upgraded this ship with some speed boosters and things like that. But we'll use our gravity drive to hopefully hop over there. There we go. So we can die a nice exciting death in a single ship versus a bunch of defensive ships. We in range? Not quite yet. Let's pick on a large ship here. Oh, we're in range of these small guys. Yeah, we can really make these guys angry. There's one. There's another. They're not taking kindly to being blasted with laser beams. Actually, we're doing not that badly. The beams are actually, I have to do some coding so that these ships respond better, so that they're more about protecting each other. There we go. Now we're dead. Here we are. Alright, some excitement for the update. Okay, so for the bulk of the week, what I've been working on was more base ownership, adding features to bases that the player owns, and mostly having to do with building ships. So now if you own a base, if you hover over this what usually would say purchase ship, it will now say purchase/build ship. And now we have this build toggle. Here we see the prices of these ships. Like the Hades that beam ship we just saw would cost us, what is it, 52 million? I gotta work on this. I gotta add this so it's a little more readable. But it will cost quite a lot of credits. Now if I click this build toggle, this is greatly reduced. I think it's like 12%, but now it's gonna cost us ore. So for example, this Apollo, let's take this as an example because we actually have the ore to build it. This Apollo would cost us, let's see, 680,000 credits. But if we say build, it would only cost us 81,000 credits, so quite a lot less, but also would cost us 3,690 ore. So what this is based on, this ore count is based on health. So if we click stats, this ship has 8,000 health. So that's, in case you're wondering how I get this ore number, that's how I calculate it. These numbers are also moddable. The credits value is based on the actual cost with a multiplier. So let's go ahead and let's build a bunch of ships. say we want a bunch of Taurus MK2s, really cool ship. So we have the build toggle there, and we're going to say begin build. It's going to cost us 1100 ore. It's going to cost us 60 seconds and this amount of credits. And let's build some of these guys. Can build quite a lot. So now in the hangar, we see that we are building these Taurus MK2s and these Tauruses. 0%. Time doesn't move in overworld mode. You could also cancel this here now, and you gain back your credits and your ore. You do that. There's like no penalty. All right. So like I said, time doesn't move when you're docked. So if you actually want these ships to build, you gotta do some. So let's go ahead and undock. We're in a tiny little ship, so you're gonna see me moving quite a lot faster than that big ship. There we go. And time moves even faster in overworld mode, so we can see what's happening. Let's actually hit time dilation so we can talk about it. So now when I put my mouse over the base, I now see that the base is building a bunch of Taurus MK2s, and if you look, it's saying energy consumption 81 units per second. So let's go ahead and hit time dilation off, and we see that the energy counter is going down rapidly, the energy in stock, while these ships are being built. And that's because they're being built concurrently. So if you want to use energy, if you want to speed up your building, have a bunch of ships built at a time, you can use it at the cost of energy. If you want to reduce the amount of credits to build a ship, you can use ore. So basically what's happening is I'm making ore and energy more useful than just simply being commodities. Void Destroyer is primarily focused on combat, but it does give you base management and trading ships, mining ships, things like that. But the primary purpose of those mechanics is towards combat. I'm not trying to compete with games like the X series where you have just incredible economies and you can spend tons of hours in that. I'm not trying to compete with those games. I'm trying to compete on the basis of really, really cool battles with big ships and cool things like that. So the economy system in Void Destroyer is much simplified. So now we're using only 3 energy per second because we're only building 2 ships. Let's go ahead and dock. Because this is our base, we can hit auto dock. There we go. Let's take a look at the hangar. We've just built these ships. Let's switch to this ship. These other ships are still building. And while that's going on, let's take a look at base management. So here this is checked. Use energy stock, concurrent build. If I uncheck this and build some more ships, I'm no longer, there's my new ship, fresh off the line, ready for battle, cool missiles, turrets, right? But slower, with more armored. Let's head back into overworld mode. There we go. Let's take a look. So now we should only be building 1 ship at a time, but not using any energy. So because these are fighters, they still get built pretty fast. But consider building really large ships that take like a few minutes. You might want to use energy, you might not want, you might not. That's up to you. So let's go ahead and dock. So if you set up your trading, if you set up your production, you can have ore, you can have energy. If you build this energy platform, it's going to generate energy for you to supply your base for this. Now we're building 1,000 units of energy per minute. We can also ask for it to be supplied. We can also buy energy, same with ore. We can request it here. Sorry, request. So ore will buy ore, we'll request ore from other bases. And this way we can have this ship to be our production facility for this base be our production facility. And also give it some credits. Looks like my artist has just messaged me. He might have some news about a new ship. So I'm gonna take a little break and see you guys in just a second. Alright, well, looks like my artist will have something to show me in about 30 minutes. So we have time for this video to finish up. Let's go ahead and load up another save. And so, okay, great. So we can build ships here to our hangar. And then ships in our hangar can be converted to our fleet or can be converted to base defense. For example, this Taurus is now a base defense ship. But what if we want, let's go ahead and toggle this request by. Let's get no credits. But what if we want this base to build ships? Let's go ahead and have the base build ships, defense ships. Let's demonstrate that. So we have it toggled on auto. This means this base is just going to build ships on its own. We have toggled to use ore stock build. We have toggled to use base credits buy. And we have toggled to use energy stock. So basically, the base can just do on its own whatever it wants. Everything is all set up. This base is also going to try to buy, and it's going to request energy from another base. It's also going to request ore from another base and buy from transport ships. And we can even tell this base, which is an energy production base, to supply energy. And we can tell this base, which is a mining base, to supply ore. So in this way, we sort of have this. We've created this base to be the sort of focal point for our fleet and to build defense ships. Let's go ahead and launch. Let's go into overworld mode, but actually, before we do that, we have one single defense ship here, this Taurus. And just to kind of demonstrate that. Alright. Let's take a look. So now we have defense ships being built 1. And if you look, the ore counter goes down. Now energy is being used because we're building more than 1. These are fighters, so these won't take too long to build. They'll take about I think 30 seconds. So I can keep yapping to keep you guys entertained while that's happening. Because they're concurrent, it's 30 seconds for 5 ships. You know, not quite so bad. We got a mining ship, so this mining ship will potentially go mine and bring back ore for us, which we'll buy, and then we'll use to build ships. So the thing is that ore is, in a way, ore is free, because if you get a mining ship and you tell it to mine an asteroid field, in a way you're getting ore for free, but building ships cost quite a lot of money. So using ore to reduce the cost means that you're saving money at the cost of ore. So that means if you have a really good mining operation, or if you're a pirate and you're stealing cargo pods, or things like that, or if you have a really good supply chain, you can save a load of money. Reduce ship costs, which means that you can have really big battles, crazy huge battles with tons of enemies. You can take losses, you can whittle down your enemy, things like that. So really excited about that. This is the first this is one of the steps to do that, to get us going in that direction of like base defense, base offense, bases sort of retaliating against you, capturing their ships, things like that, kind of creating this sort of dynamic world. All right, looks like we're almost out of energy there. There we go. So now only one ship is being built at a time, but we're gonna get energy periodically from our suppliers, from trading ships, things like that. Looks like this base also built a defense platform. This is something that I'm going to work on to also make it on the timer versus just sort of popping up. Right now they kind of actually just pop up. But getting back to ships, we now have 15 defense ships. Let's go back to this base. And we see quite a lot more defense ships here, right? We see a bunch of Anubises. So given enough about a minute or two, we have a nice defensive force. We don't have to worry about it too much. Let's go ahead and dock at this base. There we go, auto dock. Talk a little bit more about this. Didn't I build platforms there? I thought I built platforms. I didn't build them. Might be a bug. I have to look. I have a look at it because I thought I built. Yeah, I think I definitely did. Or maybe I loaded up a save. Yeah, that might be possible. So let's take a look at this. So you can toggle this off, and if this is off, then you can manually manage your base defense ships. For example, these ships are in my hangar, and I can convert them to base. And now these base defense ships have a bunch more. But here, if we set auto for this, just to take care of things, we can toggle this use ore stock, and now it's just going to use credits. Now, if you try to toggle the use base credits, this guy will pop in. If we try to toggle this guy will pop in. So one of these has to be checked. You can have both checked. So first try to use ore and then credits, but you can't have both unchecked. Make sense? I hope it does. You can also toggle this use energy, and then it will just build one at a time. If you want to save your energy for something else, maybe this is a supplier base that supplies energy to another base, so you don't want to use up energy on building ships. You're okay with the weight. Let's see. I believe this is about it. This update took about a week, and there was all these other little things to it, like the previous update talked about mining, setting up your miners, setting up transport ships to support your miners, setting up defensive ships for mining, for asteroid fields, things like that. So using these kinds of little steps, you can set up this cool little economy based around, again, combat, to give you like eventual like huge war between bases, and then you attacking other bases, bases defending themselves, sending ships against your base because you captured it, trying to recapture it, things like that, and eventually having like a giant enemy force that you really have to struggle against, and then you really need all your resources, all your ships, all these captured bases, kind of unify the game world to do that. I'm probably forgetting some stuff, but that's okay. I usually do. But once again, guys, thank you so much for supporting the project. We're on our way. I'm going to put out some new ships, hopefully today or tomorrow during the queue. I think you guys will be pretty excited about them. They're large ships. In fact, that's kind of what I'm forgetting. Let's take a look at something. Let's see. Yeah, we can look at it in the battle editor. Some new cool ships and more on their way. Let's take a look. We have the Palace. a light cruiser, and we have the Triton heavy cruiser, big ships, and also we have the Titus, if I can find it, mining ship, which is pretty cool. I think super cool because it's got a drill on it. There's the Titus. There we go. And let's make a ship for us. Cobra player. There we go. All right, yeah. So we have some giant ships. My artist and I were working on a destroyer, pirate destroyer, a military destroyer, which I think you guys will really like, some of the older players from part 1. And hopefully we'll, every month we keep adding ships. The focus is more on bigger ships. This is a frigate. Pretty sure it's a frigate. So it's quite a lot larger than my heavy fighter. You have a cruiser and a heavy cruiser, and we'll just keep going. We'll keep filling in the gaps of ships, keep getting bigger ships as we go towards sort of the third part of the game, the giant big battles with giant fleets. Alright guys, thank you for watching this video, for sticking with my rambling. Thank you for supporting the project. Tell a friend as usual. Thank you for all your great reviews. Those really help. Steam really calculates those in terms of letting people know. Your friends get these notifications, like recommended by whoever that they get it, and apparently it has a pretty nice impact because people tend to trust their friends. So thank you for those reviews. You guys have been great. We'll keep working on it. We'll keep adding new features. We'll keep doing these video updates, and we'll see you guys later.